Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that really tries to cut through the noise and get straight to what you need to know about some, well, pretty complex topics.
Mm-hmm.
You're likely here because you want to grasp the core ideas quickly, find those aha moments, and become properly informed without wading through endless jargon.
Absolutely.
So today, we're diving into a really fascinating bit of kit, some high-tech AV hardware. It's actually quite the marvel of engineering when you look closely.
It really is. And our mission for this deep dive is to unpack the WolfPack 4K 60Hz 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switch. It's got HDR, separate EDID and audio apps, the whole 9 yards.
Quite a mouthful.
Yeah. So our source is basically the detailed product description for this thing. We're going to pull out the most important insights, maybe some surprising facts, just to give you a clear picture of what it does and maybe why it actually matters. What problems is it solving?
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's unpack this. What's the fundamental job of this WolfPack Matrix Switch?
At its core, it's about routing. Taking HDMI audio and video from up to 16 different sources, 4K 60Hz sources, mind you,
Right.
and sending them to any of 16 different 4K 60Hz displays.
Okay, so like a traffic controller, but for video signals.
That's a great analogy, yeah. A super smart traffic controller for high-res video and audio. And it's incredibly flexible. You can send, say, input 1 to output 5, input 3 to output 10.
Or one input to all 16 screens at once.
Exactly. Or any mix you can think of, really. Send one source to a few screens, another source to others. Complete control.
Gotcha. So where would you actually see one of these in action? It sounds pretty high-end.
Well, yes and no. It is high-end, but its applications are surprisingly broad. The source material lists, well, just about everything.
Like what?
Gaming rooms, sports bars, restaurants, casinos, even bowling alleys, fitness centers, malls, places of worship.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and also data centers, nail salons, country clubs, factories, conference rooms, schools, and of course, sophisticated home theaters.
So a sports bar makes sense. Lots of TVs, lots of games.
Exactly. Imagine 16 TVs. You need to switch any game to any screen instantly, right? Maybe put the big match on all screens. No flickering, no delays. That's crucial.
Keeps the customers happy.
Absolutely. Or think about a big corporate conference center. Routing different presentations from one spot to various rooms or displays. It shows just how much need there is for this kind of precise and flexible AV routing.
Okay, so that's the big picture. But you mentioned the specs. That's where the real magic happens, right?
Totally. When you look at the core performance, we're talking 4K resolution at 60 Hz refresh rate.
Which is pretty standard high def now.
Right, but it's how it does it. It handles 4.4.4 chroma subsampling at 18 gigabits per second.
Okay, 4.4.4. What does that actually mean for the picture?
It's about color information. Think of it like this. 4.4.4 means it's sending the full uncompressed color data for every pixel, no shortcuts.
Ah, so you get richer, more accurate colors.
Exactly. It's vital for things like computer graphics, high-end gaming, professional video work, where subtle color differences really matter. It stops colors looking banded or washed out.
Makes sense. And it complies with HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.3.
Yes, and that's key. HDMI 2.0 gives you the bandwidth for that 4K 60 Hz 4.4.4 signal. And HDCP 2.3, well, that's the content protection.
Digital handshake thing.
Precisely.
Yeah.
HDCP high bandwidth digital content protection. It's what lets you play protected stuff like from your DirecTV box or Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, Blu-rays.
So without the right HDCP, the screen just goes black.
Pretty much, yeah. Or you get an error message. So being HDCP 2.3 compliant means it works smoothly with all the modern gear and content you'd actually want to watch.
Okay. Now, the product name mentions separate EDID. That sounds technical. What's EDID, and why is it important to have separate settings?
Right. EDID. Good question. It stands for Extended Display Identification Data. Basically, it's like a little digital ID card built into every display.
An ID card.
Yeah, it tells the source device, your Blu-ray player, your computer, whatever, what the display can handle. Resolutions, refresh rates, audio formats.
Okay. So why separate settings?
Well, here's the common headache this solves. Imagine you have multiple TVs connected. Maybe some are 4K, some are older 1080p.
Right.
Often, the source device gets confused, or it just plays it safe and outputs a signal that all the displays can handle, which usually means the lowest quality one, like 720p stereo, maybe.
So your fancy 4K TV gets a rubbish signal just because there's an older screen plugged in somewhere else.
Exactly. It's super frustrating. This matrix switch, having separate ED to Zs for each input and output, lets you fix that. You can basically tell the source device, hey, for this output going to the 4K TV, send a 4K signal. For that output going to the 1080p screen, send 1080p.
So you force it.
You force it, or you can make the matrix learn the EDID of a specific display, maybe the least capable one on purpose for certain outputs, to guarantee compatibility without affecting the others. It stops the source constantly trying to adjust and potentially causing flickering or signal drops. It just makes everything much more stable.
That sounds like a genuine problem solver for complex setups.
Oh, it absolutely is. A real game changer for stability.
And it's not just video, is it? The name mentions audio, too.
Definitely not just video. It's got separate audio on all ins and outs. This means it can handle complex audio just as well.
Like surround sound.
And then some. It supports multi-channel audio pass-through. We're talking HDR audio formats, Dolby Digital Plus, Dolby True HD, DTS HD Master Audio, even Dolby Atmos.
Atmos, too. Wow.
Yeah. Plus, it has features for audio embedding, adding audio to an HDMI signal and de-embedding, stripping audio out, maybe to send to a separate amplifier. Huge flexibility there.
Okay, impressive. What else makes this stand out?
Two big things, I think, especially for performance. Fast switching and signal regeneration.
Fast switching, meaning no delay when you change inputs.
Well, minimal delay, and crucially, the source says it switches quickly without any flashing.
Ah, that annoying black screen you sometimes get.
Exactly. It avoids that. The way it seems to work is by managing the EDID effectively, sort of pre-handshaking, so the transition is much smoother than many other matrix switchers.
Okay, and signal regeneration, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, this is really cool, technically. HDMI signals, especially high bandwidth ones like 4K, can degrade over distance or if they pass through too many connections.
Right, you get sparkles or dropouts?
Precisely. This matrix doesn't just pass the signal through, it actively reconditions it. The description says it gets level compensated, phase error is corrected, and any data jitter is eliminated.
So it cleans up the signal.
It essentially rebuilds it. The output becomes a regenerated, brand new, perfect HDMI signal, just like it was coming directly from the source.
That's a big deal for large installations, right? Long cable runs.
It's a huge deal. It means you can run cables much further or connect more devices in sequence without worrying so much about signal loss or needing expensive repeaters or fiber optic extenders. It maintains that pristine 4K 60 Hz quality. It's serious engineering.
Okay, so you've got this incredibly powerful, sophisticated box. How do you actually control the thing?
Lots of options there, which is good. You've got apps, presumably mobile apps at Web GUI, so you can control it from a browser.
Standard stuff.
Yeah. Plus, an included IR remote control and serial control via RS-232, network control via TCP/IP, and specific software control options.
And physical buttons.
Yep, there's an LCD panel on the front and push-in buttons for direct control. And for those more complex integrations, it has 2 RS-232 ports and 2 TCP/IP ports. Plenty of connectivity.
You mentioned integration. Does it play nice with those big home automation systems?
It seems designed for it. The source explicitly states it supports writing drivers for third-party control systems. They list AMAXA, Control4, Cruston, RTI, Savant, a whole bunch of the major players.
So it can slot right into a professional setup.
Exactly. Which brings up an interesting point the source makes about the AV industry. It sort of hints that end users doing, say, a whole house system might find installer quotes really high.
Because of the programming.
Yeah, the hardware itself, like this matrix, might be a smaller part of the cost than the custom programming and integration work by the installer. The source suggests that if you're savvy, you might save money by buying the hardware yourself and then just hiring someone for the software setup and install.
Interesting angle. Is there a catch?
Well, the manufacturer, HDTV Supply, makes it clear. They warranty their own hardware and their direct RS-232 control script, but they don't certify or troubleshoot code written by third-party installers. So, buyer beware to some extent if you go that route.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And the company itself, HDTV Supply.
They seem pretty established. The source calls them a 24-year global home for audio and video products, mentions they've been certified since 322-2003, are rated an exceptional top-quality store by Google Shopping, and they're an HDBaseT.org approved adopter. So they've got some credentials.
Okay, good context. So let's try and wrap this up. What's the big takeaway for our listeners here?
Well, I think understanding a device like this WolfPack Matrix shows it's way more than just a fancy switch box. It's really a sophisticated solution tackling some pretty complex AV headaches.
Right, simplifying things that seem like they should be simple but often aren't, like getting the right picture on multiple screens.
Exactly. It ensures that high-quality media gets distributed seamlessly, whether it's in a sports bar, a boardroom, or your own high-end home cinema. It's kind of the unsung hero behind a lot of impressive AV setups.
So it makes the complex stuff just work.
Pretty much. And it leads to a final thought for you, the listener. When you consider these advanced features, like the separate EDI control stopping signals getting dumbed down, or that signal regeneration acting like a digital spa treatment for the video.
Oh, I like that. A signal spa.
Yeah. How does understanding the role of something like this high-performance HDMI matrix change how you think about the hidden infrastructure behind all the great video and audio you experience, whether it's at that sports bar or a big corporate presentation or even just streaming at home? What kinds of tricky AV problems might this kind of tech be solving that maybe you hadn't even thought about before today?